All right, everybody, welcome back to Brothers Cannot Get Along. The world is terrible. We're about to all die of the Wu flu. And yeah, let's have some fun with it. Anyways, everybody, it's Crow here. And yesterday I did a video on this Tim Pool versus Chris Pool, Thor versus Loki, just brothers hating each other. And I have no experience with this whatsoever. But Reactor, who is Chris Poole, put out this tweet because The Quartering did a video yesterday as well, in which he basically documented text messages back and forth between Chris Poole and Tim Pool. And Reactor said that he has to leak the entire conversation. He's been forced to. And honestly, it doesn't change anything. We'll go through it. He has two Google Drive docs. I'm only going to be going through the one that says Full Combo 2 here. This one here is just a back and forth over regular stuff not related to this infighting that's going on. But let's just read through the rest of his tweets and we'll go right into it. If you can do me a favor, drop a like on this video, share it, leave a comment, even if that comment is, Andrew, you're a horrible brother, and Chris Poole is a great brother. All little brothers are great. All older brothers are assholes. I don't mind, because all comments are great for the YouTube algorithm. Anyways, it may seem odd that I referred to having a different subverse, but at this time Tim had convinced me it was legal to reincorporate in a different state and remove me as owner. Go on the domain because it was on my personal web hosting account. I eventually gave up. Tim said they wanted me to be an employee of the business I created and no longer own, so I told him no, I'm not helping you anymore. Remember this. Also, at the time, Tim has convinced me that the YouTube channel we were working on was a different one, and the one I used when I started Subverse. I've since realized he just deleted my original videos. Remember this as well. Keep in mind, they made a new corporation, moved all our intellectual property to it on 6/5/19. What Quartering showed in this video was me giving up 15 days after they did it to me. I never gave up before 6/5/19. Alright, let's take a look. See if what he is saying has any truth to it. So, I'm done. Where you at? I'm deleting your Subverse from my Subverse website and taking my Subverse in a different direction, just so you know. What's your problem? I literally moved out here to build Subverse with you, and you Zuckerberged me and gave Emily ownership. You don't do anything. Because you kicked me out! No, we've been working for over a year, and you've been playing video games. I broke my hand. Whatever. Wouldn't it be harder to play the video games with a broken... whatever. It sucks when your own brother kicks you out of his Subverse, doesn't it? You basically stole my brand and kicked me out. Fine, you can use my domain if Emily gets the same percent as me. Absolutely no reason for her to be an owner. You're too volatile. Instead of doing things, you flip out and cause problems. I'm not flipping out! Are you flipping out when you kick me out? No, it's just business, I guess. Because you did nothing for over a year. We did nothing for a year. As soon as Subverse had a deal, you kicked me out. In January of last year, Emily and I filmed a doc in Seattle under Subverse, and we started doing interviews. That's fine. So, you see how easily he just doesn't acknowledge the bullshit that he's saying? It's like, he says something, gets called on, then just goes on anyways. That's fine, I'm letting you copy my brand. I was doing the site. You were doing interviews. I mean... That's because we're working together to build Subverse. Then you stopped doing the site until I got a deal for my content and hired Emily. Then you got it in your head that I can fuck myself, I guess. Then you got mad because you wanted part of the deal. Oh boy. So, honestly, based on this conversation so far, and we're going to keep going into it, it seems like Reactor, Chris Poole here, was not doing anything. Legitimately wasn't doing anything. He created a website domain and then didn't do anything with that website. Chris Poole and Emily, who formed the LLC for Subverse with Chris Poole, they were doing interviews, they did a documentary, they did it all under the Subverse name, where Chris was apparently sitting around playing video games. And he's not denying these things in the text. He just gets called out on it and then jumps to either an excuse for it, like, oh, I broke my hand, I can't... I don't understand how you're saying, well, I broke my hand, so I'm going to play computer video games, but I also can't work on Subverse. I can't work on this website. That's too hard. But playing World of fucking Warcraft, I play World of Warcraft, man. People get fucking arthritis from that shit. So that's a terrible fucking excuse. Whatever. Oh, man. I'm not used to arguments like this at all with anybody. Ever, ever, ever. You can have your deal. I'm not mad. Also, I also don't have to hire Emily, nor did I have to use Subverse. I could keep that 20,000. I moved out here to build Subverse with you, and you kicked me out. Because using Subverse gave you an opportunity to stay involved. I'm not involved! Because you don't work. I told you last month that you can do whatever you want. Make whatever you want. You didn't do anything. No need to argue. You just don't do any website stuff, so it's not like you do anything for Subverse.net. I'm not your boss. I'm not your servant, but you sure yell at me like I am. So you don't work. I don't ask you to do anything. You get mad, then complain. Whatevs, you just don't work on the website, so I'm cutting you out. You've done 0 site maintenance since I moved out here. Wow, you too. You hired a guy who deleted all my original work. Since then, I rebuilt the site. You hired a guy who deleted my website and locked me out. So in like 16 months, you did a couple weeks of work while I've been working every day. You've been working every day on Timcast. Yep, and got a deal to fund more content and decided to allocate that to Subverse. Yeah, congrats, bro. You do you. Well, like, come on. This is like arguing with a fucking child, right? And again, as an older brother, I am not used to seeing this from a younger brother. It's like I'm living my life vicariously through others now. Then instead of working, you just festered and started complaining. I'm familiar with that. You literally dropped me from my own brand and gave Emily ownership. It doesn't work that way. You weren't doing anything. So start a different business. We still don't even use the website. Don't take the business that I let you in on and kick me out. And you're acting like we care. You're sitting on a dead domain and acting like we care. Oh, man. Guys. So what are your thoughts so far? Do you think Chris Poole has a legitimate case here? He's not arguing that he didn't do anything. He's, other than create the website domain, which apparently was not used for Subverse. So this is fun. This is very fun. But do you think that, you think Chris Poole is right? Or do you think that he is just a child who is crying and acting like we care? So we agree. I'm deleting everyone now. Yeah, we agree. You've done nothing over the past 6 months, but for some reason got mad like you're owed something. You start a YouTube channel with my brand name. That's a harsh burn. And this is the key here. The channel is yours. Go for it. Are you saying they might want the domain? No. I'm also canceling the emails to my useless domain. You're just lighting yourself on fire. Oh no. Are you saying I'll lose my stake in your SV Corp? This is exactly why it does make sense for you to shut everything down. You're unstable. I feel that way. Oh, I'm unstable for kicking you out of my Subverse brand? What it means when you do it, what it mean when you do it to me? Because instead of talking about it, you wait until the last minute and then go nuclear. I just messaged you to talk about it. You said I'm worthless. He didn't say that, but like, that's the thing, right? You're arguing with the child and he's not listening to what you're saying anymore. Call mom. Why? We don't have to argue and she can mediate, or dad. You think she can convince me to let you Zuckerberg me? No. And yell at me like a servant in public? Because we're not going to solve anything and mom or dad will. Oh boy, I can tell you right now, from experience, again, as an older brother who deals with a childish little brother. Yeah, sometimes you basically have to have your parents come in and mediate a problem because it's just devolved into petty bullshit. And the things that they will say to you because they are childish and they do not care and they're nasty little people when they want to be nasty little people, little brothers. Sometimes you actually have to talk to your folks and say, hey man, this shit's like, can you step in? And sometimes it's because you might be wrong yourself and you do need an outside opinion because you're so thick into the weeds. But as you can see, I did. So as you can see, because we're not going to solve anything, you should call them. Ask them if they think it's unreasonable for you to separate my Subverse from yours. I did. Now you should. Ooh. You just talked to them? Last night. Nah. Perfect response. You totally winning this one, man. I don't know how to disconnect myself from your Subverse YouTube channel. Unmob me or whatever. Let everyone know they're losing their Subverse emails in a few days. Subverse.co is available. I think subverse.net is the main email. I haven't gone to their Subverse website, but this is key over here because he's about to just tell him, take subverse.net. I'm making Subverse into the site it was before you joined, and I'm going to promote it on my Reactor channel, explain why I'm not part of your Subverse, and that they're separate, just so you know. I'm also going to highlight the irony of you complaining about the Subverse game. Don't worry, Subverse is all yours. We are rebranding. Now, I will say this. I guess there is some criticism here of Tim Pool, because he was going after the Subverse prawn game. The thing with the horses that I talked to you in the last video, he was going to go after them for using Subverse when he was also using Subverse that he took over from his brother using Subverse. So I'll give him some credit there. That's legitimate criticism. But don't worry, Subverse is all yours. We are rebranding. I guess if you aren't satisfied and you want to cause more problems, you should leave. Cause problems? I thought we were done. Why are you threatening me? I didn't. I gave you a heads up. You want to make a video talking shit, go for it, somewhere else. I'm not going to talk shit. It'll be 100% honest. Does anyone feel like Chris Pool's been honest with anyone? Great, then leave. So now if I promote my Subverse, you're going to kick me out? Dude, it's not yours. I mean, you're right, it's 100% yours. So make your video promoting it, say it's all you now. No one has an issue with that. Thumbs up. So, and if you want to make a video disparaging me or anyone else, you can do that somewhere else. It won't be disparaging. I'm going to explain why our Subverses are different. Oh man, this is just such a childish argument. There is no our Subverses. We aren't Subverse anymore. It's 100% yours. Okay, so what's the problem? Your video wouldn't be honest or make sense. We just signed over 100% of the equity. It's yours, so make a video about how you won. Okay, I wasn't planning on phrasing it like that, though. Wait, well, you did it. You are the sole owner of Subverse. Thanks, sorry for doing it. We're going to change all the socials to something else. Now, if you read that, you think, oh man, that means that Tim Pool really did. He basically gave it to Chris. Well, here's the problem. It's right here. We're going to change all the socials to something else. You never paid me for driving you. Could I get the $40 you probably covered the gas used? Sent. Thanks. And look at this at nighttime. You can have the subverse.net if you still want it. I'm not paying anymore or having anything to do with it. I got mad because you yelled at me in public, but I was actually mad that you didn't include me and I knew the domain was useless. It was only getting 30 views a day or less. I felt like I was just pretending to be useful. If you still want it, let me know, but I'm not going to pay for the stuff anymore. Phil and Emily wanted your help, and you can just tell me when I need to pay you. All I had was the domain, and they were talking about moving the articles to Minds. I'm sorry for getting mad and yelling. I didn't mean to be a dick. Phil and Emily want you to run the written stuff, Minds or Subverse. I still don't like that Emily is now a co-founder of Subverse. Even if it's a different Subverse, it feels shitty. I don't want anything to do with that anymore. Ugh, I still don't like that Emily is now a co-founder, yada yada yada. I'm poor and I need to focus on making Reactor profitable. Subverse is just a distraction. I could just redirect subverse.net to the Minds page if you want. You're still a co-founder, but Emily's working 14-hour days. If you don't want to be involved, I can have Bill transfer everything to his accounts. At any rate, I can send you money for any project that needs a budget or hiring, but we need to transfer the G site again. I'll take my credit card off and make you, Emily, and Bill G-Site admins. Okay, can you add me back? And I'll send you extra money to pay you back for what you already spent on it all. Yeah, for tax person, and then, so this, again, not relevant anymore. You've seen what he's said, right? You see how he talks about his brother. You see how he talks about Subverse. It's clear he's leaked out the entire conversation. There's nothing left here. There isn't. He gave up. He doesn't refute the fact that he was lazy. He doesn't refute the fact that he wasn't working on anything. He doesn't refute the fact that apparently, because he broke his hand, it was easier to play a game like World of Warcraft. And if you've ever played World of Warcraft, it's a hell of a lot harder to play that game with a broken hand than it is to work on a fucking website. I'm telling you. I'm promising you. Like, I know people who have got like carpal tunnel syndrome and shit. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I'm obviously biased. I've had so many back and forths with my younger brother over stupid shit like this, and these are how the arguments go. They go absolutely nowhere. You can call them out on their bullshit. They don't care. They don't listen. They're right. You're wrong. Welcome to the world, everybody. But again, this is personal drama. It's why I don't like when my personal drama is out there, because it's, you know, everyone's a bit of a hypocrite, obviously, but it's not fun. It's not fun when you have to deal with this stuff and it's family, because there are certain lines you don't want to cross. There are certain things that you just do not want to say, even though you know they are true. There's certain dragging that you just don't want to have to deal with. Now, I know that feeling. I think Tim Pool knows that feeling. And, you know, this reactor guy, Chris Pool, he doesn't. He's upset. He's angry. And I think he's upset and angry because he realized he should have just stuck it out. He should have pulled his head out of his ass, and he didn't. Now he sees that something that originally he was a part of, that he bailed on, he gave up on, that he didn't contribute anything to other than a domain name, has taken off, and he's not a part of it. And I'm sure he regrets that. I'm 100% certain he regrets it. But this is sad. This part is sad. Because when the quartering exposed the bullshit between them, he left a lot of stuff out. And Reactor, Chris Pool, put all that stuff back in there, and it doesn't paint him in a more positive light. He's just as childish. He's just as petty. And he doesn't care. He talks about how he was removed, Tim removed him illegally. And he doesn't say that in his messages. He says he's upset that Emily was made a co-founder, which he signed off on. But it's like he's upset because he made the domain. It was his name, and Emily, who actually works apparently 14 hours a day on the site or on Subverse and everything, she gets credit. Like, man, I'm sorry, but grow the fuck up. Stop being a child. And if you feel like you could create something, go create it. Go work on your channel. Go make money. And then if you really want to sue your brother, sue him. But, and I had this conversation with him on Twitter, if you want to have this battle over social media, whatever you think you're going to win in court is gone now. Because you've exposed yourself. You've exposed yourself lying time and time and time again. You're still on here lying to people. And this conversation, these text messages, do not help you out at all. So stop. Or keep it up. Because you know what? This is therapeutic for me. Because there are times when I think, I wish I didn't say that thing. But then I realize, no. Other guy's a jackass. Alright guys, bye.